You know what it is, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
You know who it is, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
Odie, Maury, Sody, Maury,
Maury Sody, Maury Sody.
black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
Hey, oh,
Yes, Mo?
are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
It's the Black and Snerdy podcast with Odie and Maurice.
What it do, baby boo?
Baby Blue.
No, baby boo.
Oh, Baby Blue. Oh, okay. Yeah, what it do? What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
You can't hear. We can't hear you guys, but I can just tell that everybody listening to this podcast is just like shouting, like with their arms in the air, like, we're fantastic.
Woo!
Because I'm feeling fantastic.
So am I. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
He is risen and all that.
Yes, he
Happy Passover.
has risen.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Yes. I was just about to say something, but I don't want to undercut the importance of this weekend. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Um,
I'm just imagining the thing that you just made a face about is probably the thing that I was also going to bring up.
I don't know.
But I'm in a
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, I'm in a very good mood is my point.
Good.
So I'm you know what? I'm going to do my best. And I'm making this promise. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep it, but I'm going to do my best not to get on you, like I usually do.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you being nice to me today.
I will back the fuck off a little bit.
Thank you.
But I do have a quick question.
Well, first, hi, I'm Odie.
Hi, I'm Maurice.
And you're listening to the Black and Snerdy podcast. Now, would you like to ask your question?
Yes. Are you ready?
I sure am.
Okay.
Before we jump in, you know what we gotta do.
Yes, we have to ask some questions.
Quick questions.
Quick questions. Okay, so whip those bad boys out and get to asking.
All right, number one.
Would you like me to vamp a little bit while
Okay,
you properly prepare? So, in an effort to get to know the hosts a little bit, each episode we start off the podcast by asking a few table topic questions. These questions have been, a part of the tabletop. Is it called Table Topics? Yeah, Table Topics set that I bought during lockdown for my family, and they're just really interesting, like, get to know you questions. So,
Getting to know you.
getting to know all about you. Give me one. I want to ask you one.
Getting to.
Well, that's two.
Hear you. Getting to know if you
So
like
you go
me.
first, and then I'll go.
Which household appliance has been worth more than you paid? I think we're gonna have the same answer for this, but you go first.
Worth more than I paid? Oh, probably. Ooh.
Has been worth more than you paid.
So like it's a toss up because I want to say the TV, which by the way, if you could turn that off when you get a chance.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to say the TV because it, for what it's worth, I use that TV pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Since I work from home, and I've been doing a lot better with not sleeping with the TV on, but there was a time when like I would just have this basically this TV would just be running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, probably while my electricity bills is on. But I'm going to go with the air fryer. That air fryer has come in clutch.
And I too am gonna say air fryer.
Yeah.
I figured like that's something that's just such a quick and easy way of making food and all that. Lots of delicious things come out of there.
You know what this is gonna sound possibly like a stupid question, but I really am curious. What do you do with old appliances, like when you don't need them anymore? Like
Send them to a rage cage.
That's actually a really smart idea. No, because like I was thinking like you can't just throw them in the garbage, right?
Well, some of them you can. I know that like sometimes the Prospect Park will have like certain electronic devices. They'll have like a roundup for you to bring them there because you can't really recycle them or throw them out.
Yeah,
they don't get processed in the same way.
Yeah, they don't get processed.
So you can probably find somewhere, especially if it's a certain type of device. But most often, I think people just like put it out in front of the trash and see who takes it.
And see if anybody takes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I mean, unless it still works, you can give it to Goodwill or you can recycle it to a family member.
I just know so many people in my 20s of just like going into people's houses and just being like, yeah, we got that couch on the side of the street.
Yeah. I mean, I
also got bed bugs.
Yeah, that's why I can't do a couch. I couldn't pick up a couch off the street, but I could pick up like appliances or something like that. But then you have to see if it's gonna work.
Some literature.
Yes, I do pick up literature because books should not be abandoned on the street. They need a place to love them.
You're saving them
and keep them warm. Yes,
you're like the Mother Teresa of books.
Oh God. Oh, I hope not. She was very racist.
Oh.
And terrible to the orphans that she was supposed to be helping.
Well.
That we found out years later. But she also did some good, I guess.
Yeah,
duality.
Yeah. The duality.
All right, then what's your question?
My question for you is as follows. Ooh, which comic strip character has stood the test of time?
Calvin and Hobbes.
Do you remember Curtis?
Curtis.
I think that's what it's called. I think it's called Curtis.
Curtis Comics. I mean, it sounds familiar.
The little black kid with the hat. Is it called Curtis?
There's a comic, Curtis by Ray Billingsley. That name sounds very familiar.
Go to images.
Oh, Curtis! I
was right?
Yes.
Yes.
I loved Curtis. But I feel, I guess it might be, it's still, well, I'm looking here on Comics Kingdom, so.
I feel like before the Boondocks, there was Curtis.
There was Curtis, yes.
And I feel, but you said by Ray Billingsley.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't give Curtis enough of the attention. You know?
Oh, man, I love Curtis.
Especially since, like, Boondocks blew everybody out of the water.
Yeah.
So when it comes to comic strips, I'm going to go with Curtis.
Thank you for unlocking that core memory for me.
Yeah. And you had Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
Calvin and Hobbes is a quintessential comic strip, I would say.
My mom, I used to always ask her when they would have like the big books of like Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, my dad used to collect those.
I love them. Maybe I should just reorder them because I haven't had them in quite some time. But they're always so fun.
I wonder if I'm gonna, never mind. I didn't want to be grim.
Okay, well, don't be grim.
I won't be grim. I would like I would like that collection at some point. I'll just put it that way. It would be a nice gesture if my dad's collection somehow made its way into my house.
In 30 plus years.
Yes. Down the line.
Way down in the future.
Way down in the hole. Yes.
Okay. So that's it for the questions this week.
No, we had 3.
We did. Oh my God, I forgot to add
for
the third
now.
one.
Come on.
All right, I'm sorry. I just got so excited after Curtis.
Yeah, got the fucking. I'm gonna keep that to myself.
What's your good luck charm?
Oh, you know what? So I have these dog tags that they're 2 sets of dog tags. Mm-hmm. There's one that my best friend from college, Gladys. Shout out to Gladys.
Shout out to Gladys.
Is that your hair? I know I'm always on here being like, I'm gonna shout out your YouTube channel, and then I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. This time I remembered. Is that your hair?
Link in the show notes.
Link in the show notes. Not getting paid for this promo. Anyhow, so her and my dad gave me these dog tags. Mm-hmm. So one of it is it's the day that I graduated from Howard University, mm-hmm. and the other one just says forever on it because that's how long our friendship is gonna last.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Do you have a good luck charm? Is it the anklet?
I was going to say my anklet.
Okay.
My evil eye anklet.
Yeah. What's the meaning behind that, if you don't mind me asking?
So evil eye is it's very old, thousands of years, from various different cultures, but the idea is that you're pushing back any evil eyes being sent towards you. So I wear that pretty much every day, so that I can keep my vibes good and the negative energy away from me.
Okay. Well,
And I got it at Sunwind, New York City.
shout out to Sunwin.
Yeah.
Oh, and also shout out to yeah, I've said her name,
You did.
Gladys.
You did
Yeah,
say it.
yeah. Shout out to Gladys. Yeah.
So are you ready to jump into the pop culture segment?
Yes, we are. Let us get into our pop culture segment.
All right, so we are going to kick it off with there's a lot of somber news this week.
Yeah.
First we want to say rest in peace to Archie Eversole. He's the Atlanta rapper who had the song "We Ready" that was really popular when we were in high school. He was shot, unfortunately, allegedly by his brother. He passed at only 37 years old, so it's very sad.
Yeah.
And also another devastating blow to our childhood and just comedy and film in general. But Gilbert Gottfried passed this week. He had
Such a unique voice.
such a unique voice. He had complications from, I believe it was his muscular dystrophy.
Yeah.
And he was just such a great comic. I thought that his career was definitely integral to a lot of our different, all of our childhood. He was there.
That's well, I know it's not literally half of the cast, but it's the most memorable parts of Aladdin are gone now.
Yeah, well, now him and Robin Williams, Yagu, and Genie are
just chilling up there,
hanging out. It's very sad. So we're sending love to both of their families.
Yeah,
and,
love, light, rest in peace.
And we just hope that that healing happens and peace and love and all that.
Yeah, same here. I would say that one of my comedy friends, Daniel Parafan, earlier when it was announced that Gilbert Gottfried passed away, he put up a picture on Instagram just doing a RIP to one of the legends, one of the greats. But it was a picture of Godfrey, the Nigerian American
Yes.
comedian.
Was that on purpose?
Yes, he did it on purpose. He did it on Instagram and on Facebook just to see who was just no, it's not the right thing, just fucking silliness.
Sometimes you need some levity in these hard moments.
Of course, yeah.
But yes, again, shout out to their families, and we're sending you all lots of love.
I agree. I was turning down the music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to there's tons of just bullshit happening.
Yeah, a lot of bullshit.
It's been, I feel like I'm even more annoyed that it's bullshit happening here in our city and in our borough, because we already have enough to deal with. But if you haven't been paying attention to the news this week, a man in Brooklyn shot up the subway at 36th Street. I think it's on the D or the NR.
No, it was DNR, yeah, because 36.
It's an express stop.
Yes.
And he basically was on the subway, and he threw a flash bomb.
Yeah, like a smoke grenade.
A smoke grenade, and then of course causing confusion, and then he started shooting. They were saying the last reports I read, it was 29 people had possibly been shot, but then 10 people were injured.
Yeah.
And had to go to the hospital. And I was reading a lot of them were students because it was early in the morning.
It was early
happened.
in the morning when this thing went down.
And everyone was just really worried and confused. We didn't know if it was a terrorist attack, if it was a hate crime, because that area in Sunset Park.
It's very predominantly
it's
Asian
mostly
American, right?
I wouldn't say
And
predominantly
Latinx.
Asian American. I think it's a mixture of white Latinx and Asian communities, and then some
Yeah.
Black people. But then it's also in that area is
I was
also a
the some
large
people once.
Jewish communities. There's like a lot of Hasids that live over there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like who was the target? Was it just like a random shooting? And it turns out, I mean, the guy who was arrested, his name was Frank James. He was 62 years old. And he had, I don't know if you saw the YouTube videos that he had been posting up. His YouTube channel was Prophet of Truth 88. And he had a lot of, I would say, like, crazy, for lack of a better term, views. Like, they were, he was a Black man, but he had anti-Blackness, anti-Semitic, anti-government, like everybody. He also, he was shouting about Eric Adams and how he was helping lack of care that the homeless people were getting. Because if you haven't read, like, Eric Adams had been getting criticized in recent weeks because of how he'd been handling just our homeless crisis here. And he was also talking about his mental health and, like, the city wasn't helping him. So it's not a clear-cut case of what happened. All we know is this man decided that he was this, like, he called himself the Doom Bringer or something like that. And it was very scary. Like, being in New York, you use the subway all the time.
There are millions of people who, like, use the subway, like, every single day,
at any time.
24 hours a day.
Doesn't matter what time you're on the train. It could be Wednesday at freaking 4 a.m. There's going to be at least one person at the bare minimum on the train because people work a variety of hours. Our subway system is really unique where for $2.75, you can go from Queens all the way up to, almost, Yonkers, basically. So if anywhere you need to go, you can get there.
Yeah.
And it's just like a mainstay of our community. So to have someone doing a shooting on there at this level, because it's different, like, throughout time, sometimes there have been someone gets shot on the subway, but that's like, there's a fight happening. It's like maybe there might be some sort of gang situation, but it's very, like, it's a specific targeted situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not this, like, just anarchy. But I think this is showing a lot of the issues that we currently have in the MTA.
Yeah, I was reading an article that was basically talking about how this is gonna hurt, like, the recovery aspect, because the recovery aspect of getting subway goers to feel comfortable enough to go back to riding trains again.
I mean, it's true. One of my best friends, James, is like a super, like, train nerd, has always loved trains, grew up in New York. He works for NJT, and he is just like, it's scary. Even for him, like, it's scary. So it's like a regular person going on the train, whether you've lived here your whole life or not, like, this is very rattling. Even people, like, who have, it's like Brooklyn tough, whatever. It's like, are like, yeah, I don't know if I want to get on the train anymore. Because you never know. And the bullshit that for me is, one, the train, when people got off the train, there was no, like, alert or stopping to be like, we need to shut down the train station to make sure no one's getting out. So everyone's, like, going on with their day,
it was
kind of.
Fucking chaos.
It was chaos when they came off. They just let everybody. They opened up the train doors, let everybody get out.
And those videos were fucking graphic.
They were horrible.
I was on YouTube, not YouTube. I was on Twitter and just scrolling through to see what happened. It did not have, like, that advisory thing that Twitter has started implementing, where it usually says, like, this is sensitive information. You might want to, think twice before you click on this shit. No, it's just pools of blood on the ground, and, like, there was a dude who was wrapping another dude up in a tourniquet, like, to stop the bleeding. Like, it was.
I will say that regardless of
graphic.
what anyone talks about New York and how we care about each other or rude or whatever like that, every single person on that train was, like, every video I saw, people were helping everyone.
Yes.
They were trying to make, like, the civilians were doing more to assist in this whole situation than
all
any of the
those
police
officers that are always at the train stations.
The one woman told the police, like, there's something happening. He's like, oh, my radio's not working. Why the fuck is your radio not working? And in the press conference that the police had, they were like, oh, when they go down there, they got to switch their frequencies to something else. Okay, well, why didn't they do that? You want to know why? Because they're always texting and playing Candy Crush and swiping right
But I bet
whenever you see them in the train.
But I bet you their tasers are fully charged.
I'm sure their tasers and their guns are full. They know how to pick those out.
Yeah.
But, like, people are like, oh, you know, Adams is talking about adding more police on the trains. We don't need any more police anywhere.
Need more
we don't
cops
need them
on the trains, in the trains.
outside of the trains.
I knew something was fucked when I first moved here and I saw just cops just riding the buses. I'm just like, we have entirely too many fucking police officers in like public transportations, you know? So like maybe just fucking chillax.
Well, I mean, if you're not doing anything, what is the point?
I will say it came a day after I had, for the very first time since COVID lockdown, gone into the office to actually work.
Yeah.
And it literally was the Monday I was in the office and I was telling you how I felt really good about going in, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go in maybe once or twice a month. And I was going to, I'm currently working with the rest of my department to like create a day where we feel comfortable going into the office to work, you know?
Yeah.
But like now after all this, I don't know. I would feel weird about going into the office.
Remember,
now.
I was saying I was thinking of trying to go to like my job's headquarters here in New York.
Yeah.
Just like maybe once a week or something like that, because everyone mainly works in DC. But I was thinking, oh, that might be nice to get out of the house one day.
Yeah.
Now, no, thank you. No, thank you. I don't know. Like when I go on the train, it is going to be like during rush hour. No, because that's the height of when someone's going to be trying to do something.
And you know I lived off of 34th Street, right?
I remember. Isn't that the one I helped you move into? Yes, it is. Yep. Not even going to talk about that, but I did help you move in. And you were close to that subway?
Yes,
It's a very long, long ride from here to there.
A way better memory than I do.
I do.
Yes, you do.
Sometimes. But, like, I really want people to stop this push for, like, calling for more police, because the police are already not doing anything. Mm-hmm. You want to know who helped catch the shooter after the shooter himself had tipped off the police that where he was, and they didn't get there in time? A 20-year-old man from Syria named Zach Tahan. So
that's why Thank You, Zach was trending the other day.
Because the police officers couldn't get their shit together in order to catch the man, and us regular civilians had to do it the way that we were doing everything the whole day and rallying against this like terror attack. Like, we don't need police in the subways. We need to have people who work in the MTA in the subways to be able to monitor. Like, I would not be opposed. Like, every station, I don't know if this has been since the pandemic. So many of the people who the monitors, like sitting up in the booths, are gone.
Yeah.
It takes forever to find someone, and even if there is a police at the train, it's not every single train. You're gonna maybe get them at 42nd, 34th Street.
Probably at like the hubs, you know,
certain hubs. But the 36th Street is a huge hub.
Yes.
And how in that none of the cameras were working. None of the cameras were working.
There was a video of Frank James or James Frank, whatever the fuck his name is. Frank James. Either way, there was a video of him like above ground. I guess the camera above ground was working, that showed him like just running. And this is a bit grim, but I just remember like when I first saw that thinking, like, because this was after they put out the APB on him. They was like, his name is Frank James Frank, whatever his name is. I keep wanting to, whatever. His name is James Frank. He's 5'5". He's a 62-year-old man. And I was just thinking, like, when I saw that video, I was just like, he's fucking spry for somebody his age, like just moving that way, doing all of that. Like, I'm not saying this like I'm impressed or anything like that. He's a fucking monster. Fuck him. Like, I hope Well, I know that you're an abolitionist, so therefore, me being like, I hope he goes to jail is probably not gonna sit that well for you. But he's in danger. He endangered the lives of those fucking train goers. You know.
I mean,
that's some fuck shit.
I think that yes, I am an abolitionist, and I feel like but I think that there are probably times and situations where someone being removed from society is necessary.
Yeah.
I think that this situation is so, there's so many different layers to everything, like the mental health layer, the like these crazy conspiracy, all these things that were happening. Like, is it him saying, I'm having mental health issues and nobody in the city is helping me and it's getting worse? How much of the lack of services that people have not been getting because during the pandemic so many things were shut down, so many places have lost money and are not able to help? How much can this be blamed on just the lack of care we have for our citizens on a day-to-day? And it's not to like further that argument of like people with mental illness are violent, because we both have a mental illness and neither of us are violent. But if you're adding a history of mental illness plus an actual like hate for the society and all these other like beliefs that people could have when they're not being taken care of and supported, it's like a breeding ground for danger, because this is not that wasn't the only shooting in Brooklyn.
That wasn't the
literally
only shooting.
The next day, right at Barclays, not too far from us, these 3 young boys, and I'm calling them young boys because they were young teens.
They were teenagers.
This 15-year-old got into a fight with one of them, and they shot him in the head. Like, since the last I read, he was like still in surgery and like critical condition.
Oh, he's not dead?
He wasn't dead, but
oh my
like,
God,
he was hit in the side of the head. So the last I read, they were like looking for him. Hopefully, you know, by the time you hear this, he's still alive and they've, you know, been able to save him. But just thinking of like what that's going to mean for him for the rest of his life. You get shot in the head. Even surviving, the amount of damage that could be done to your brain, you never know. So it's just like, but people are like, oh, these teenagers are just terrible. But like, where do you get a teenager having a gun, having the feeling that they need to have a gun, and that this is the only way that they can protect themselves or get respect or whatever the case may be? Like, there's so many more issues that we have here at hand, and it's not just a Brooklyn issue, it's a whole entire country issue, because there are plenty of people who are falling under the cracks and aren't being given the necessary help they need over a period of time, and then it's like we're dealing with the consequences of a failed society. Like, we're not taking responsibility for the people we have here. So then it's like, it is very easy for when someone does something bad to be like, oh, just lock them up. But it's like, that can't be the only way. And not saying in instances that it's not necessarily needed. Like, do I want Frank James to be walking around getting guns and smoke bombs and shit, terrorizing the community? No. But is jail somewhere he needs to be, or is it perhaps a mental institution where he, like, even though those also have a lot of issues, and that can't just be the only other alternative, because they are just as carceral as prisons in a lot of ways. But I just feel like we need to do something better and help people more, so that we are not having situations of like 5:30 in the afternoon, you're walking out of Barclays, the mall, or coming up from Atlantic Terminal, and there's a freaking shooting just right there in broad daylight. But it's like, we have to protect ourselves, be smart, pay attention to your surroundings as much as possible, and as always, if you see something, say something. and not just to the freaking police because they're not going to do anything. Say
Yeah.
something to the people around you. Tweet it.
Let
ask
it
a
be
question.
tweet
it. Citizen app it.
Put some stuff out there.
Citizen app is very helpful. I don't use it because it was giving me anxiety of seeing all the things that are constantly going on. But I won't say that it's not helpful to know there was a shooting or something in this area, or someone was, assaulted down the block, because maybe I don't want to go over there if there's somebody like at large. But did you feel like when this happened, I feel like I didn't get the little notification that he had been identified, or
I did get
until later. It was like, I feel like
we both got it at the same
11
time because you texted
morning,
me.
But they had identified him that night before. So I'm like, why did it wait until 11 in the morning to send me this text message? That's the same thing that they did with the hurricane.
Yeah.
We didn't get the hurricane until mid-hurricane happening. And then all of a sudden you're getting these alerts. But shouldn't this alert happen earlier? Why is it taking so long?
Yeah, I don't know why it took as long as it did, but I just remember it being a loud, obnoxious fucking thing when it went off, and I think I was in the midst of texting you anyway when it went off.
Well, speaking of loud and obnoxious things, the baby shot somebody at his house.
Just oof.
Yeah, but this time it was, I guess, justified. It was a person trespassing.
Yeah.
And he, of course, in true DaBaby fashion, on an Instagram post on Friday, he shared a clip of Cameron in Paid in Full saying, "Niggas get shot every day, B, you'll be all right. You tough, right?" Which I could not say is not funny. But you hear the 911 call came out, and he was like, y'all got, someone was trespassing. I don't know what he's here for, what he's here to take, what he's here to do, but he's shot in the leg. He's neutralized until you guys get here. So, the guy, you could hear him wailing in the background because he was obviously shot.
He just got shot.
So thankfully this was not one of DaBaby's antics as he usually has. This was an actual, if someone's trespassing on my property and I have a family, even if it's just me, I won't say that if I had a gun that I wouldn't shoot them.
This isn't the first time that DaBaby,
no.
He still had that Walmart thing.
He killed somebody. Now he did shoot them when they were coming at him when he was with his daughter. Mm-hmm. He had the fight. He's never not in some sort of altercation. But
another one.
I will say, at the very least, this, compared to most of his recent activities, was something that you could see as justified, because someone's trespassing in your home and you don't know what's going on and you shoot them. I mean, that's why people have guns in their home.
Yeah.
But hopefully this situation does not come out that DaBaby was actually on some fuck shit, because it's DaBaby. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully that man that got shot is safe and is healing, and whatever happens to him, moving forward. But why can't people leave people alone? I don't understand what is going on. Why are you trespassing in somebody's house? What, did you think he had money or something?
Well, dude.
Well, think you have money, but did you know it was DaBaby's house?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. If it was is it? I don't know.
Is it so the thing that would change my opinion on whether he should have shot him is was this a fan who was trying to meet you and get on your property, or was this someone you felt was being violent? But there was also plenty of people at your house. Did you need to shoot him?
I would say, okay, so just in general, I'm staying the fuck away from DaBaby. The fact that I know that he has, bodies, actual bodies, and he has no problem with pulling that thing out and doing what he has to do to protect himself, Second Amendment and all that other shit. Mm-hmm. I'm staying as far away. I'm not trying to rob him. I'm not trying to even take a photo with him. Mm-hmm. I'm just, you know what? Even if I'm a fan of his or something like that, I'm not going to his concerts. Before my ass get Travis Scotted or some shit like that. I'm not having it. So sorry, DaBaby. Yeah, like no photos, no autographs or anything.
Just nobody talk to the baby. Leave him alone.
Leave the baby be. Leave the baby be.
Just be with his nappy and go about your business.
I know this is not an appropriate drop, but I just went through my list of drops and I forgot that I had this one.
I wanna fuck the ones I envy.
Okay.
I told you it wasn't appropriate.
Moving on.
I missed these drops, man.
Moving on
Yes.
to more inappropriate shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard or watched Jocelyn's Cabaret?
No.
Do you remember when I talked about it a few weeks ago with
Vaguely.
her assaulting or allegedly assaulting one of the castmates?
Yeah, vaguely.
Okay, so Jocelyn's
Is her
Cabaret.
name Jocelyn? Yeah, her
Jocelyn
name.
Hernandez.
Yeah, I legitimately, when you said that, I was just like, is that a musical? Like, is that a location in Brooklyn? Do you want to go to a fucking speakeasy?
I mean, it does sound like any of those
Sounds
things.
like it could totally be that, right?
Yeah, any of those things.
I'm going to open up a fucking bar that's called
Jocelyn's Cabaret. All right. She might shoot
It'll be
you.
like a musical bar where like there'll be a piano and just like that that LGBT plus theater bar that's in Manhattan.
On like 2nd Avenue?
Yes. I hope it's still open.
I love
haven't
that
been in
one. That was a good piano bar.
They sing show tunes and shit.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been there in so long.
I don't know if I've been there since like
I hope
college.
I really hope that they're still open because like I know a lot of places that just went under because of the the paparazzi. So
You're correct. But no, this was not nearly as fun. Basically, the show was she was teaching these girls how to be like strippers or shaking their ass, but a lot of it was her like yelling at them and cursing them out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So, if you recall,
sounds like a fun time.
I mentioned a few weeks ago that one of the dancers, she had gotten a fight with her on the show, and the woman was alleging that Jocelyn's fiance had like helped beat her up, and they like were jumping her. So now, it turns out 4 of the dancers have filed a $25 million lawsuit against Jocelyn for assault and battery. They said that she ambushed them during taping. And they came with heels to the reunion where she wore hard bottom boots. And one of the women, Amber Ali, was when I think that was the initial report. Amber Ali was in their hospital room and saying that Jocelyn kicked her and bruised her ribs, and that Jocelyn's fiance, and you'll never guess his name, Ballistic.
Realistic?
Ballistic.
Oh my God! Really?
Yes. He was also fighting, and he ripped her hair off her head. And Jocelyn honestly didn't like ever say she didn't do these, but I think that I read this comment from her before that I Mortal Kombat one hoe pimp slapped another one. She was tweeting these. Pushed one into last night's episode, kicked down a few on the ground, slapped fire out of everyone on that stage. Me and my crew, wait for it. So, Zeus has been saying they don't condone violence. And it's just been shenanigans. It's been stupid shenanigans. If they sue and she has to pay all this money, I don't know where I can't imagine she's making $25 million off of this show. Like, I can't imagine it's even close to that.
Yeah, not enough to cover this kind of
From Zeus?
No.
If honestly, I would say she probably would make like maybe $1 million, maybe even I could say $3-4 million. Because she is Jocelyn. She does
have a brand.
She has a brand. People love her for whatever reason. And they would tune into the show, so it's mess. Like, people are gonna tune into mess.
Everybody loves a good mess.
But I mean, shoot, who knows?
We'll get to that a little bit later.
I think that she could have gotten to the point where she was making that much, maybe, but it just is very, very weird. I don't know why she's hitting people. You're a grown up. Use your words.
Yes.
I can't say that I've never wanted to fight somebody if they're talking crazy or whatever like that. But I'm not going to hit anybody because I don't want any sort of lawsuits.
Yeah, I don't want to. I also just don't want assault on my fucking record.
Exactly.
It's not a good look.
It's not.
Jobs look up that shit. And then you have to explain, like, why were you doing? Well, I own a twerk fucking factory. And the dancers weren't doing what I asked them to do, so I had to stomp them in the nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, that would not go well in a job interview. I think they would be a bit...
Do you? Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
Confused and horrified at those behaviors.
Yeah.
But what were you going to ask me?
I was just gonna ask if you remember the song.
I didn't.
It's from the Boondocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was not listening into the lyrics when you put the song on. So honestly, if you want to know, I thought you had put on the Rock's rap. I thought that's what it was.
Well, I'm doing that now. It's about drive. It's about power. Hunger, we devour.
Well, put that on after, before I say this next one, so that you can.
Before or after?
Well, no, put it on after because.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, I don't even know. I feel like the next few ones coming up are so shitty. I don't know if you could, if this. I think they're getting more and more inappropriate.
Yeah. Well, just throw out the next one and we'll see.
Okay. Do you remember that Cuba Gooding Jr. got arrested in a few years ago for allegedly like sexually assaulting someone?
Yeah, for fucking being a nasty man.
He was. So he pleaded guilty and got a plea deal. And this is 3 years after he was arrested because there was a lot of delays. His team was trying to get the charges dismissed or reduced and da-da-da. But between 2018 and 2019, 3 more women said that he had violated them at different, and these were waitresses. And so he admitted to the judge that he kissed the waitress on her lips without her permission while at Lavo nightclub. And this is very sad. One, I think that people have been like treating this like as like a no big deal because he was just a kiss. No one kisses no one. Don't kiss me unless I've told you that I want you to kiss me, or there's a difference between you're dancing in a nightclub with someone, maybe you're in a mood or something like that.
You have to feel the vibe.
You're feeling the vibe, and then like they go in for a kiss, and like if someone goes into a kiss in that instance, and you can be like, no, or whatever, you move away. But that is more of like an organic, it makes sense that someone might have tried to kiss you. You could rebuff the kiss and be like, oh no, like I'm good. But someone, I'm a waitress, I'm at work, and you're kissing me. That is not cute, that's not funny. But also, like, I don't think that our society ever deems anything that's not somebody knocking you over the head and like pulling your skirt up as like real assault. Because nobody has been getting in Adrian Brody's ass for him kissing Halle Berry at the Oscars.
I think years later it was one of those things where we look back now and see how cringy that shit was.
Well, like now, but even still, people are still like nobody was. People are breaking that up after the whole slap situation, but.
Also,
Jim Carrey kissing Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah,
at the MTV Awards.
That's not what I was gonna bring up, but I was just gonna say, like, would it be considered assault what Justin Timberlake did to Janet Jackson?
No, because he didn't do that on purpose.
Oh, okay.
It was just like. I don't think he was supposed to rip it off. It wasn't.
But it wasn't supposed to like be the nipple. It was supposed to be like a red bra or something.
Yeah, or something like that. Like I don't
something provocative, but not like an actual flash.
Yes.
Got you.
So, but
either way, consent is not that fucking hard, people.
Yeah.
Like it's really not that hard. If the vibe is right. And you both legitimately are feeling that the vibe is right, the two people, y'all can go from there. But, like, don't just, like, oh, I'm Cuba Gooding Jr., I was in Snow Dogs. Like, think that you could just do whatever you want. Like, ooh, I was in radio.
It's sad because this is just Cuba Gooding Jr. regardless of like his most recent roles, he was good in that. I didn't see all of it.
What the OJ? Yeah.
He did really well in that, but just like Don't Be a Menace. Like that. Wait, no. What was,
You're
no.
thinking of
what's Boys in the Hood? Thank you.
Yes.
But like that was a great. He is a great actor. He has a great family legacy in Hollywood. So for you to throw it away to just be kissing these women for no reason, just because you feel like you can, because you have money and you're a man or whatever, it's just fucked up. So whatever this plea deal is, I guess, you got out of jail. And this is one of those situations where it's like, do I feel like someone necessarily needs to go to jail for this? No, but like definitely you need to take some serious, they need to have you on serious, I don't know what sort of community service that you can do, and I'm sure there is a transformative justice approach to this that could happen that is not like just throw him in jail, because like what is that going to do?
Yeah, it's not really going to do much.
Besides, he's just going to be chilling in jail, signing autographs for a year.
Yes.
But everyone, please just consent. Just get to consent.
Consent is a thing, and it is important. So just don't Cuba Gooding Jr. this. All right, guys.
Now that is the last that we have of all legal issues. Thank God. Wow, so much shit. So people were in so much shit this week.
It was really kind of a shitty week when it came to like legal shit.
It did. There was just so much going on. Now this is also. I mean, this is just fuckboy behavior.
Actually, is that it for the legal stuff?
Oh wait. Wow. Because you know what? This story is such a horrifying story that like
we could talk about it in a different segment if you want, or I'm easy. I'm rolling.
No, we can get into it. A few years ago, there was a white Democratic donor named Ed Buck, it was found that two black men, Jamel Moore and Timothy Dean, had overdosed in his house 2 years apart. Jamel died in 2017 and Timothy in 2019. And it took a really, really long time for anyone to really look into the counts of like what's going on, like why, like Ed Buck is gay. The two black men were gay, but I believe also homeless or having various
some sort of like runaway scenario.
No, not they were older, but it was like they were homeless. Some of them had just different issues, drug abuse, maybe not having like a big support system.
Yeah. And
it just was showed that he was like giving them these drugs and then they're dying, and he was not facing any kind of scrutiny or any like ramifications for this happening. And it was just showing how wealthy white men can get away with killing people, even if you could say, oh, it's an overdose. But like he's plying them with these drugs, and it's more on one occasion that he's like victimizing these black gay men, and he knows that they don't have, that they're vulnerable victims, that they were unhoused, and it just was like a clear, not taking any responsibility or care for these people's lives. But he was found guilty by a federal judge this week, and he's getting 30 years for injecting the two black men with the meth that killed them. So
some justice.
Yeah. It's just like the fact that you could be being white and wealthy and a man, that takes away anything. It doesn't matter that he's gay. Doesn't matter that he's a Democrat. Like, none of those things, who cares? The fact is that he is a person who is harming other people.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe, and who knows how many more there could be that we don't know about. That, like, he could have been doing this before and, like, giving these people meth and they're dying, and you're not caring enough to like be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be using these drugs with people if people are really getting hurt. So fuck you, Ed Buck, And I hope that Jamel Moore and Timothy Dean's families are getting some semblance of peace. Because as much as I'm not an abolitionist, these are the situations where I'm like, oh, wait, what did I say?
You said as much as I'm not an abolitionist.
Oh, yeah. As much as I am an abolitionist, these are the type of situations where I'm like, you're a danger to society, and it doesn't seem like you actively are trying to do better or change.
Yeah.
So maybe you need to be removed.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what type of restorative justice framework we could apply to this to make it better or different or something, but in this case, with the system that we currently have, I am okay with wealthy white men going to jail for murdering vulnerable people in vulnerable populations.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's
the end of all of the legal shit.
Yes.
Now we can finally get on to the rest of the fuck shit.
Oh, and there is some. It's a mixture. It's a mixture of fuck shit. So you know that rapper Benzino?
Yes.
Have you?
He is famous for beefing with Eminem, and he was also the president of the Source magazine or something. Was it the Source? Or, no,
Vibe. No,
not Vibe. I think it was the Source.
Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly did not. I forgot about the beef with Eminem. But that would make sense as to why he and 50 Cent are not really cool. But either way, Benzino it was rumored that he was dating trans model Shauna Brooks, which for him, like, would have been, she's gorgeous. So he would have, for him, if he was dating her, that would have been a step up on his part. But it's now like he's been pushing back on the rumors, saying he's not dating her, and then there's been leaked video footage of them talking on the phone where he's like, you don't know how this is gonna look for me, like people are gonna think I'm crazy, and I don't have any problem with the transgender, with people who are transgender, but like I'm the one that's gonna look like I'm crazy. Like, oh God, what did he say in the video?
The transphobia and homophobia that is rampant within the hip hop community is still crazy to this day. Like, if he is dating this transsexual individual, like, it should be fine. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be like that big of a deal. But of course, black masculinity is so fucking fragile. It's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna look crazy. No one looks crazy. People are people. If you want to date somebody, fucking date somebody, regardless of who the fuck they are. Like, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of fucking dating. Well, it's like being like, hey, this is the person that I'm with, and I want to be with this person. Now, I will say this. Nothing. I won't say anything. I had a change of mind. I realized that it was probably going to be a little bit. Oh my God, that scared the shit out of me. Sorry. I saw some movement, and I forgot that there's a special guest over there that is just been very still this entire time.
She's sleeping.
Yeah, okay. Well, I probably woke her up.
But when you're talking about homophobia in the hip hop community, zoom in on 50 Cent, who has been trolling Benzino on social media about this, as he trolls everybody over everything. And he posted a picture of Benzino and Young Buck, who used to be part of G Unit, and said, this just in, Benzino and Young Buck are currently in the studio recording. Who knows? Maybe they'll start dating. New power couple alert. And then just other terrible homophobic, transphobic messages that he was putting up about making fun of him about dating this woman. And it's just like,
well, 50 Cent turned 10 already. Like, come on. Like, grow up.
He's such an asshole.
He's a fucking troll.
He's an asshole. Shauna already said that she wasn't outing anybody or doing anything. She's just out here living her life.
Just living her fucking life.
Like, I don't know what you want people to do. Not like her and Benzino were in a movie together, and so he keeps trying to say that's why only reason we know each other. We never met, and it's like, do you like her? Just be with her. Who cares? It's the same thing when Eddie Winslow was allegedly tied. I think it might have also been to Shauna Brooks, and people were like having a breakdown. And then there have been a few like, of course, what's his name? Malik Yoba, which such a cringy.
Yeah,
situation.
I didn't even want to bring him up.
But it's still like it's weird to me that in these situations you have these men, regardless of whether or not they are actively dating or not, but like either they're going the Benzino route where it's like, no, never, I can't, or you go to the Malik Yoba route and they're just like, yeah, I love them, and it's just like it's very weird, fetishistic, and there still feels like there's a latent transphobia and homophobia in all of them.
There's definitely like that undercurrent of transphobia in it, man. Like that's not even I don't even think it's a fucking undercurrent. I think that's just like the current.
Yeah, well, you're right. It's just bullshit. Grow the fuck up and move on. And in other weird rumors, dating rumors, did you hear that one about A$AP Rocky and Rihanna?
Yeah, this one hurts.
Well, someone made this writer, Louis Pisano, claimed on Twitter that they had broken up, and the reason they had broken up was because A$AP Rocky was cheating on Rihanna with the Fenty shoe designer Amina Muaddi. I hope I pronounced it right. And was alleging that there was also rumors like, oh, maybe she's also pregnant, et cetera, et cetera. So this was going, the Twitterverse was going crazy over this, like, for the last few days. But then she put out a post and she was like, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. We are nowhere near dating. We're nowhere near having sex. I'm not pregnant. Like, just, like, leave people
It's the
alone.
instrumental, so don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, people are so obsessed with Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They're so obsessed with Rihanna in general and always trying to find something to be like tea about her.
Yeah.
But it's like, leave this woman alone. She's literally creating a life.
Yes, she's gestating a human being inside of her womb.
Like, there's no need to make up these stupid rumors. And I'm sure that she's probably not even paying attention to them, really, because she's Rihanna. She knows that this is going to happen.
She's doing all sorts of, like, fucking actual business. She's a businesswoman.
She's a billionaire mogul.
Billionaire fucking moves that she has to be focusing on. And, like, she don't have time to hear about potentially, like these fucking rumors. Although I'm really hoping that they are just rumors.
I mean, they have, the woman squashed them. If he's cheating with somebody, it's not her.
Yeah.
Like, do I think he's not cheated on her before? I won't say that. I mean, it's A$AP Rocky. I couldn't tell you.
New York dudes.
He's from Harlem. Like, come on.
Just
He's a
saying,
pretty boy.
There's a string of New York dudes doing dirt.
I mean, this is true.
We had Jay-Z and others.
I thought you were gonna have
No. I don't. I have smoke later on, but that is. Okay. That's another segment.
That's mess is mess.
Mess is mess.
But now we have. There's
God bless this mess.
God bless this mess. But in non-messy news, music has been, there's some new music that's being added to the Library of Congress.
Well, not necessarily new music, just classics.
Yeah,
right?
just classics.
Yeah.
There's some new collections being added to the Library of Congress, including A Tribe Called Quest, Wu-Tang Clan, Alicia Keys, Queen. Like, there's so many great artists that are doing that, so that's really awesome. And congratulations for having your hard work be celebrated and lauded, because y'all are really important and have done so much for music.
Yeah, And I especially like the fact that it was a Tribe Called Quest. They're one of my favorite acts of all time. Oh,
Vanina Applebaum, you gotta put me on.
Rest in peace, Phife Dawg.
Rest in peace, Phife Dawg.
You know it was sucky that he passed away the same day as Prince.
He did pass away the same day as Prince, and it was completely overshadowed.
It was really over. I mean,
because honestly, I can't. Every time I always have to. I'm like, oh shit. I was just gonna say to you, like, didn't one of them die recently? Mm-hmm. And yes, it was Phife Dawg. But yes, R.I.P. Phife Dawg. Your legacy is secure. You helped create so much beautiful music, and all of the members of Tribe Called Quest. Congratulations, and everybody else is being inducted. Salute to you because you worked hard, and this is your, this is what you get for it.
Yeah.
All right. So our last thing for weird, crazy, random news this week. Mm-hmm. Did you know that Elon Musk purchased, he is the majority stakeholder at Twitter?
Yeah, this came up like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like last week. He wanted to be on the board, or there were talks of being on the board, but the people at Twitter were like, nah, we don't want you on the board, and it was like that was squashed.
Yeah, we want your money. We don't want you on the board.
Exactly, like that was squashed. But then he's talking about trying to buy Twitter for $43 billion. And so the Twitter folk basically did something called a poison pill, which reduced. They made everyone was able to buy more stocks of the stock, so it would be less likely that he could acquire the majority of shareholder votes, which it would be helpful because the fears that I feel like a lot of us have about him buying Twitter is what is he going to do about hate speech? Because he's been a very big critic
of
the different bands.
Yes, he has.
And he's like, it needs to be a space for free speech. And I, as a journalist and as a person who feels like, we can, regardless of whether or not I believe your mindset is valid, or if I think that it's violent or whatever like that, everybody is allowed to say whatever they want. But that doesn't mean you should be allowed to do it on a wide scale that's going to possibly harm more people. Because it's not like the people he's trying to get unbanned are talking about saving the whales. They're hateful. And not to say they don't have other platforms. They do. I forgot the name of that sorry. Ooh, I have the hiccups.
Holla if you hear me.
I forgot the name.
I used to say that all the time, in my house with my my family. We were just ooh, I got the hiccups. Holla if you hear me.
That's very cute.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the name of that social media platform that came out after maybe 2018, 2019 when
TikTok, Vine, MySpace.
No, it was one for people who were alt-writers.
Ew, yeah, that's right.
I forgot the name of it, but it was a place where it was you could say whatever you want.
Basically Trump Twitter.
Exactly. And it's I feel like there's a place for...
Was it 4chan?
No, because 4chan was a big space for... 4chan and Reddit had gotten in heat because of the fact that there was a lot of that, craziness on there.
Yeah, all that alt-right, Pepe the Frog,
yes.
fucking bullshit.
And I think we don't need that on Twitter. We don't really need that anywhere. Those people are going to find their voices anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's Twitter is such a big platform that it's going to be easier for you to possibly ensnare a teen or something, because the people keep saying oh, it's fine. Gen Z, they're, part of this generation where everything's open and out in the open and no one's going to be hateful. But that's not true.
No, hate finds a way.
It finds a way. You have a lot of these kids who are dealing with all the same things that we're dealing with as grown-ups, living through a pandemic, having a recession, possibly mental health crisis, family situations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Being bullied because teens are fucking assholes and
yes,
mean.
Yes, they are. Very mean.
And most people are not actually taking those people's problems like seriously because it's just like, oh, I was bullied, so what does it matter? No.
Am I the only person who like gets on the train and whenever I see like a herd of teenagers, I get a little scared? Not that they're gonna like do anything bad to me, but that they're gonna make fun of my outfit.
I mean, kids are horrible.
They're gonna be mean to me.
So yes, I think that is a fear a lot of people have, but I think that's just a breeding ground for people to possibly get tripped up in a negative mental health situation and getting roped into these very terrible ideas. Because it's like, yes, you cannot tell someone not to say something, but it's like, why would we want to possibly create more incels? Like, why?
Yeah.
It's dumb. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen and that they can keep him off. Because if they don't, I'm sure Trump will be right back up there.
Oh my God!
Because he's excited.
These few years without Trump on Twitter have been so relieving and so like.
It's interesting.
It feels like I've been able to breathe.
How come he's never got like a Finsta or a Fin Twitter?
He probably has like 12 of them, and they're all probably saying the same thing.
Those are the bots
that
are coming into and commenting on your posts.
As a side note, did you know that tonight is the verses with Mary and BB and CeCe Winans?
I did not. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It is Easter.
It's Easter, yeah.
That's a good one. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
They're not going to be drunk. They're not going to be.
I don't know. Which one is BB? BB is the boy, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
I would say probably BB's the boy.
BB is the boy.
Honestly, do you want to know? For a long time, I didn't know that that BB and CeCe were not girls. I mean, I knew that because I thought both. I hear their music a lot.
Siblings?
They're siblings. I thought they were sisters. For a long time.
Did you get them mixed up with Mary?
Yeah, I just always thought I knew Mary were girls.
Yeah.
And so I thought BB and CeCe were girls too. And then I'm looking at pictures and be like, oh shit, I didn't realize these were siblings because also the names BB and CeCe, I've never heard those are not traditional boy or girl boy names. So it's
which one of them has the song "Shackles on My Feet"? That's Mary. Okay.
Shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just wanna praise him. I just wanna praise him. I just wanna praise him. I just wanna praise him.
I did, for a long time I didn't realize that BB and CeCe were siblings. I thought they were like a married couple.
Then I remember thinking they were married afterwards and being like, oh wait, no, they're siblings. But either way, they're gonna mash up the place. It's gonna be very good.
And you know what? Good on Mary and BB and CeCe for existing as long as they have within the gospel community and not having any sort of drama or bullshit come out about them. There was some
drama with Mary. I feel like remember because the TV show. There was some colorism issues. There was some possible homophobia.
Yeah, but you know what I mean when I say.
But they weren't doing. What's her name? What's the gospel singer's name who was talking about gay people? Oh man, and everyone says she's closeted. I can't remember her name now, but I don't like. She's beautiful voice, but also very homophobic.
I could count on my hands the number of gospel acts. That's BB, CeCe, Mary, Kirk Franklin,
Yolanda
Adams, not Teddy Pendergrass. Who does the "Never Would Have Made It Without You"? That's my mom's favorite song. Is that Hezekiah Walker?
Who was on Kirk Franklin's?
Wait, who did the
verses?
Who did the Kirk Franklin verse?
Was that Hezekiah Walker?
No, I don't think it was Hezekiah Walker.
Because Fred Hammond. Because I listened to Fred Hammond a lot. Because his old '90s, the '90s gospels when he was putting in the that R&B.
Can I tell you something very embarrassing?
What?
For the longest time, I thought that one. I think it's a Luther Vandross song was a gospel song.
Which one?
Turn out the lights to the sun. So, is that even Luther Vandross?
I don't know what.
But no, my stepdad would play that song all the fucking time on Sundays, and I was just like, oh, okay, maybe it's a fucking gospel song because I never listened to the lyrics.
That's Teddy Pendergrass. Wait, turn off the lights and light a candle?
No, not turn off the lights, light a candle. It's Kissing You, I think maybe it's called. It might be called Kissing You. Hold on.
I'm not finding anything with Luther Vandross about Turn Off the Lights. The only thing I'm getting is Teddy Pendergrass. That's baby making music. Teddy Pendergrass, if they don't have my boo Trevante Rhodes play Teddy Pendergrass in a movie, I'm going to rebel. Because nobody else could play him. Trevante Rhodes, perfect casting.
Oh my God.
And a perfect seat.
I swear. Okay. See, I see how we're feeling when the table's out. Table's out, bagels out. I see. See how that works.
All right. What were you going to say?
No, I couldn't find it. I was just gonna say that I really love that one Luther Vandross song. Can I Take You Out Tonight? It's just so fucking wholesome.
I love that song.
Just
yeah.
like, excuse me, miss, what's your name and where you're from, and can I call? And basically, can I take you out tonight?
Did that come out when we were in high school?
I believe so.
Because I feel like I remember the video and being like, this is very unrealistic that this person and Luther Vandross would be dating.
Is that because of the rumors of him being
a homosexual?
Gay? Or is it just because of how corny the pickup line was?
Probably both.
Just imagine like somebody come up to you off the street like, excuse me, miss, what's your name? Where are you from? And can I call? And basically, can I take you out?
I'm trying to find out who the woman was in this video because I cannot remember now. But you know what? I miss Luther Vandross. He was such a staple in our childhood.
Yes, he was.
Do you have any thoughts about Big Luther versus Little Luther?
No, because all Luthers had soul. You know what I mean? Like all Luthers were built.
Beauvoir.
That's the name of the person who sings the song?
Yeah, the one from,
from the music video. Fancy. I know. Fancy from Jamie Foxx. I knew that was who it was in the music video.
Yeah, music video is beautiful. I just don't feel like, maybe now that I'm watching it as a grown up, I'm like, all right, this is not, I guess because I felt like he was so much older than her.
Yes.
And I was like, but then also I thought he was gay. So
yeah, but the age thing is not that much. I mean, I know people who are in their 60s who talk to people who are in their 30s and 20s. So I'm just saying, and Luther was in his 40s during
that was 11 years ago, I think, right?
13.
So he probably was in his 40, mid 40s, 50s.
2008. Wow.
Oh, we were 19.
Yeah.
Wow. When did he die?
I'm not sure, but that's or you know what? Maybe that's just when this was uploaded.
Maybe, yeah. Well, that's it for the. Oh, well, actually, no. Well, we have one more thing to talk about, but do you think we should talk about it now, or do you think we should just do it after?
I think we should do it after.
Okay, so stay tuned to hear what this about
this fucking mess nonsense that is
the ultimatum.
We might as well do fucking The Ultimatum and Love Is Blind not Love Is Blind. Love Is Blind at the same time.
All right. Well, listen in. We have thoughts.
Yes.
But we will BRB.
Thoughts. Yes, we will be right back with more of the Black and Snerdy podcast.
Bye.
You're listening to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
I walked along the avenue. I never thought I'd meet a girl like you. Meet a girl like you. With auburn hair and tawny eyes. The kind of eyes that hypnotize me through. Hypnotize me through. And I ran so far away. I just ran all night and day and couldn't get away. A cloud appears above your head. A beam of light comes shining down on you. Shining down on you. The cloud is moving nearer still. Aurora Borealis comes in view. Aurora comes in through. And I ran so far away. I just ran. I ran all night and day. Couldn't get away. Okay.
Imagine me wearing a hot pink 80s power suit with a huge gold chain.
Now imagine me wearing the shortest shorts you possibly could imagine, wearing roller skates, those sort of like 4-wheel roller skates, and the biggest headphones that are just like on my head that has like TV antennas on them, and I'm just going right down the street, just bopping
And I'm
to
standing
the song.
there like singing. I'm singing while you're rolling.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in the background and you're cruising down the street and I'm just, you know, doing the Carlton dance.
Yeah.
As the song is going.
As the song is going, while you are standing next to like the biggest gigantic jukebox you could possibly not jukebox, boombox.
Yes.
That you could possibly have.
Yes.
That takes like 12 D cell batteries.
Yep. I'm here for that.
Oh boy. Well, speaking of being here for that, it is we're back with more of the Black and Snerdy podcast. And it is now time, if I could get over here, to talk about our mental health escapades. This is the section where we talk about our mental health journeys. Both Odie and I are advocates, not experts, when it comes to mental health and self-care. We firmly believe in it. And we are lucky enough to be in positions where we can, you know, seek therapy, seek medication, like talk to people, have a really strong support system. And this is our way of catching up with each other and being accountable. So let me ask you, how is everything going on your end this week?
I think things have been pretty good. I haven't been super depressed. So that's great. I told my therapist I feel like I'm always at I'm on the scale of 1 to 10. I'm probably generally at like a 3 of depression. And we were talking about
10
how
is the highest, right?
Yeah, like
Okay.
10 is the highest. 3 is the normal state of depression, and I think that like when I actively notice it, it's because it's at like maybe like a 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I've never been like. Well, if I've been at like a 10 or a 9 or a 10, it's been very few and far between, thankfully.
And I know it's also hard for you to sometimes notice when you're actually like in the actual depression.
Yeah.
So like at times it could just fly over your head, like, and then you look back on it and you're just like, oh, you know, I was depressed during that time. I didn't realize that. Oh, that's why I was so sad and moody and everything was going wrong inside my head and there were storm clouds all over the place.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we were talking about how some of that, how like this low grade constant depression I have, you know, is kind of associated with ADHD, and not necessarily because like my ADHD is not causing the depression. But we talk a lot about how a lot of the issues I have with my ADHD, it's more about how I'm being impacted by it by the people around me versus the actual stresses of having ADHD. Because like forgetting things is obnoxious.
Yes. It is.
It's obnoxious and it's stress. It's like if I'm going on a trip or something, or I'm just going to do something regularly throughout the day, and like, you know, yesterday when I forgot my shoes, it's like, that's obnoxious because it's adding more time into what it's throwing off my time. And I'm maybe not completing the thing when I wanted to complete it. But that's not what is creating the anxiety and also depression. It's like the way people react to those things, and just like have always reacted to me, especially being someone who's very smart, and quote unquote accomplished. And even though I hate this term, high functioning, because when you're someone who people can see, oh, you're doing all these great things really well. You're testing really high on your testing scores. You're gifted. Da 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 da. Like they're completely ignoring. They don't look at your what is the word? Maybe they don't look at things that you're bad at or things that you might be inconsistent with as like you're inconsistent with this because it's just truly something difficult for you. It's looking at as, oh, you're not doing that because you're lazy. You're not doing that because you're just not trying. You don't want to. When those things could be the furthest from the truth, because I'm a very hard worker. I work too hard a lot of times, and too long. But it's like, it's not that I don't have, I don't have any attention. It's that my attention is being focused
elsewhere,
and I don't even necessarily realize all the time that like I should have diverted that attention to something else, or even possibly do that. Like the amount of times I'm reading something and I get all the way down to the page and I honestly don't remember what I was reading.
Yeah.
And I have to go right back up there and be like, oh shit, what is this?
Or like you go into a room and you forget what you even wanted to go into that room for. Mm-hmm. Like I'm starting to wonder if maybe I have a touch of ADHD or
There's
some
a lot
kind,
of
because,
comorbidities.
Way too often I'll go into the bathroom, forget what I was supposed to be doing, get sidetracked, and then I was like, oh yeah, I have to pee.
Yeah. And people think that like you're being weird. I think it's especially when you're just someone that people think is like smart and charismatic and can do whatever, and is really great in doing things for other people. Like I remember in college, one of my professors would be like, "Why can you always get all this good information for everybody else's stories and all these ideas for everyone else's stories, but not your own?" And it's like it wasn't until becoming an adult and joining all these different like ADHD groups where it's like that's something that a lot of us struggle with. You ask me what my favorite things are, and I will probably not be able to tell you in the moment. It's like I only remember some things like when it's sparked in conversation, which is partially I feel like one reason I love talking so much, because sometimes I can't remember like, oh, like obviously someone says what's my favorite book, I'm gonna be like, oh, Harry Potter, but that's just something that's like a mainstay that I know that I loved all the time. But there are plenty of other books that I really, really enjoy outside of Harry Potter. But I couldn't tell you that unless it's something that sparks in my mind that I'm like, oh shit, yes, I did just read The Gilded Ones. That was a really great book that I really enjoyed, because I have so much information in my repository that it's hard to always tap into it when I want it and also need it. And then just all the other things like, being forgetful is not a characteristic people like when you're working, and not being able to finish things in a certain amount of time, like is causes me anxiety, especially being in a very front-facing, fast-paced environment. But it's like I was telling my therapist, because she was like, well, what things do you think would help you not feel sometimes so stressed like at work? And I was like, well, if I worked as like, a janitor, and this is no shade to janitors and like that. It's just like,
but if you had a job where like it was more so like physical, where
and I'm not thinking about anything, I don't have to keep up with anything. I'm just doing a checklist. Your brain
off and just like do a task, do a physical task, check that off, do another physical task, check that off, and so on and so forth.
Exactly. Like there's no like upkeep that I'd have to do. But then like even then, although when you think about it, if I was a janitor, I'd probably have to be like, unless there's someone like checking the steam pipes, but I have to remember to do that. So then who knows if there's a job that I could do that is really kind of stress free. But those type of jobs, like I've done them before. I've been a janitor before. I've worked in retail before. I've been a cook before. Like I've done all those different things, and I hated them because the jobs I am in, the career that I want to be in, I enjoy talking to people and speaking about things and learning new things. Mm-hmm. And it just sucks that because we live in such a very ableist society where it's like if you're not able to crank out everything in this amount of time, it automatically makes you like this kind of pariah, or you're not hardworking, you're not diligent, or you're not deserving, when in reality it's like maybe we're just asking people to do too much all the time, because at the end of the day I'm still getting my work done, I'm still doing all these things, but it's so much harder for me to do that compared to maybe a neurotypical person. And my therapist was like, I should give myself some kudos and a break, because of the fact that like for majority of my life I've been unmedicated, and I never dropped out of school. I've been fired, 2 times in my whole career. It's not like I'm constantly like jumping from job to job, but it's like, I feel like just ADHD is stressful, not just with work, like, but in all of my relationships, it somehow figures a way to create unease or stress or difficulty, which is something that I recognize causes me to like push people away, on top of the other things that I might be dealing with, like trauma-wise, which I've been also dealing with my therapist with, is that like I am constantly pushing people away from me and like trying to distance myself from relationships with heavy emotions, which then backfires, and I'm internally annoyed or sad about it. But I feel like the only way that I know how to do that, which, of course I'm now that it is being made aware of to me, and I'm realizing that's something that I've been doing. Like I'm working with her, or both of them, and figuring out ways to not do that. But it's just very stressful to not be able to like feel like I can trust my own mind or my own thoughts, and just like I feel exhausted by my constant feelings of doubt and like, am I making the right decision? Am I saying the wrong thing? Like, I'm extremely socially awkward, and I don't think anyone really could know that or recognize that. But like, when you spend so much of your life, when people are like, why would you say that? Why would you do that? Why? And it's like, well, what am I doing wrong? Because I didn't realize it. And like, when I always make that joke that like my my memoirs are going to be titled "That's Inappropriate, Odie," like, because people will tell me things are inappropriate, and I'm like, I legitimately didn't know that.
Yeah.
If I did, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to be inappropriate. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be mean or angry or any of those things. Like, but
sometimes I'd be trying, but that's just me. That's just me. Like, I'm a scamp.
There are times when I'm trying to be inappropriate, but I feel like those are times when I know that it's okay. Like,
that it's okay.
like,
like,
to be
you
inappropriate.
read the room, but like sometimes it comes out, and you didn't. You honestly, to God, did not know that was like something rude or inappropriate to say or do at that moment, and then it's just like this weird sort of embarrassing thing for you.
Yeah, and then people are tweeting out about you being a terrible person, and you're like, oh,
okay.
It's just different thing. There are just things that happen that I don't realize are happening, or ways that I try to protect myself, which I don't realize in the moment are actually causing, like, are more self-sabotage than being safe.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I have a difficulty with emotions, especially big emotions.
Yes.
Which is interesting, because I feel like I'm okay with like being happy. Like, that's probably...
Yeah, but it's the negative emotions that like you have some difficulty traversing.
But I think it's not just negative. It's just any like big emotions. like being happy is probably the one thing that I can understand and that I can like work within.
Yeah, that's because it's like a normal state of being. Like it's as part of like you and your emotion of happiness has become less of like an expression of joy and more of just like a daily routine, as much as wiping your ass or brushing your teeth. Like you don't really think about it because it's just that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, when
and every other emotion makes me very uncomfortable.
Exactly. When it's like all emotions should be like something that's worthy of being like explored, not just because, not just the routine emotions. Like if anything, like I wish there was an emotion for just like feeling fine. You know what I mean? Not happy, not joy, but content.
Yeah, my therapist
Never
says I'm
mind,
no
content.
longer allowed to say I'm fine. Because
Yes, I fucking agree. Because how many times have we had a conversation like, how is therapy? Oh, okay. Oh, I should have brought this thing up at therapy. I should have brought this thing up at therapy. How many times did that happen? Write some stuff. I'm going to get you a journal. I'm going to get you a journal of some kind.
it's just that I think that growing up the way that I grew up, and I feel like my family, they talk about, my mom is a super big talker. It's not like they don't talk about emotions, but I feel like because as a little kid, my emotions were always really big.
Yeah.
That I knew that like, expressing, I knew that certain things would cause adverse effects.
Yeah.
Like if I expressed like I liked someone or I loved someone, like in a like a romantic sense,
Yes.
that could come with a lot of scrutiny or like teasing or things like that. So that's just something that I feel like I learned by middle school to not be like, not express that, because it's when you tell somebody you like them and then you're being also called like ew, she likes you, that's weird, or like not Odie, like there's just those things.
There's a lot of past trauma that you have to work out
Yes.
that are tied to these big emotions that you used to feel. Because it seems as though, like, at a certain point, you realize that big emotions get you in trouble. So the happiness became your content.
Yeah, and then nobody asks you if you look happy, even if you're not happy on the inside, but if you're like generally jovial and joking, nobody's gonna ask you any questions.
You know what? And we need to start asking questions when people are too fucking happy. We need to start bringing that up. Like, hey, what's going on with you? As opposed to just like, if you look sad, just like, is everything okay? Or what's wrong? No, we need to do that for the motherfuckers who are always smiling and cheesing at motherfuckers all the goddamn day. We need to start asking the big questions like, hey, is everything really fine with you today? Is that because you got a pep in your step, and I'm just wondering if that's not a mask that you're using to hide some tragedy.
Well,
Sorry, that's just me.
I have lots of masks.
Yes, you
and
do.
I feel like, I didn't realize the many masks that I was wearing, but like ADHD causes you to mask a lot, because if you were being honest, people would probably get annoyed or will be like, oh, I can't deal with this, or tell you uncomfortable, or tell you that like they can't really help you. Like, honestly, I don't feel like when I talk to people about how I'm feeling, that I could ever truly articulate how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I'd much rather not talk about it. Like, unless I'm like angry about something, I can do happy and I can do angry, but the in between, those things are harder for me to talk about. Mostly because I feel like a lot of times, because I'm like overthinking every interaction, that I have a difficulty. If somebody does something that I don't like, I may not be able to be like, oh, I didn't like that in that moment, because I'm worried that if I'm telling someone something I don't like, then it's like criticizing. And there are a lot of things that I generally don't like throughout, like, that people do, and I won't tell them, and it'll just like fester and fester and fester because it's like a small thing, I won't ever say it, and then I'll just like figure out a way to put up a distance between the two of us. And even those could be people who are like my bestest friends. So it's like they may not even ever known that I had put up distance between us, or just like stop talking to somebody, or just break up with someone, or like it gets harder for me to bring those things up after the fact. So then I just don't, and I will just suffer in silence, which again, I'm now noticing that, and I'm working on with my therapist to not do that anymore.
Yes.
Because
which is good.
That is something that is causing me more harm and sabotaging my relationships in ways I didn't. Well, not to say I didn't realize they were. Well, I guess at the time didn't realize I was sabotaging them until like now I'm like, oh yes, I could have spoken up, or I could have used my voice and not been afraid of possible confrontation or uncomfortability or whatever, because at the end of the day, like in relationships, all of our relationships, regardless of who the person is, if you tell someone something, they don't like it, then it's like they don't like it, and then you just, maybe you're having a moment of uncomfortability, and then it moves past.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't have to be what I always feel like it's going to be like if I tell this person something that I don't like, or they're doing something that I don't like, it's going to turn into them like disliking me or thinking that I'm being, over dramatic or oversensitive or whatever the case may be. Because like I know I don't want a lot of critique, or I don't like being critiqued a lot, so I don't want to put someone else in that position of feeling like I'm constantly critiquing them. But I think now I'm realizing that like I always knew that we're always learning how to be with one another, but I think that if you don't allow people to show up for you in a way, like if you don't allow people the chance to show up for you, they will not.
They won't.
And so your relationships will be superficial, and you'll be watching people have these deep connections that you want to have with them with other people.
Yes.
So that is my long tangent for today. And
hey, there's nothing wrong with expressing yourself, okay? It's not a tangent. It is you having an honest conversation with a dear friend about how you are feeling this week and what you experienced and how and that we should know. And I'm being serious. I know you're looking at me, and I'm just like, it should be normalized. This is me in my effort to normalize these types of discussions, okay? Like, we've been doing this shit for about a year now, like well over a year at this point. I want to make it clear that this is a safe space, that you are safe, you are not judged during this segment. That during this segment,
and very specifically
during at the top of the podcast, that's one thing. Making sure that you remember these damn cards and these questions, but no. In all seriousness, this is a really normal conversation, and I want you to feel like this is a comfortable like space to feel. I want you to feel comfortable expressing yourself.
I currently feel like I want to barf.
Of course you do. You always do when you talk about these kind of things, but hopefully in time that will go away. Lord knows I say this all the time, and I mean this all the time. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon. It is a process. And you know how much I hate that word process after the fucking ultimatum. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Well, thank you very much for being my safe space.
You're very welcome.
And I hope that I too can be yours. And as I say that, tell me, how are you doing this week?
I was doing fine this week. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say that I still am doing fine on a mental health sort of kick. There were a few times this week where I forgot to take my medication, and I think my psychiatrist appointment is coming up really soon. So as far as like getting my prescription made, or prescription re-upped. Like I'm looking forward to that. My therapy session is this coming week because we decided that we're gonna meet once every 2 weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. I just got a little ZocDoc reminder that was just like, hey, ooh, sorry. Sorry about that. That was weird. I got a little ZocDoc reminder of just like, hey, you had a meeting with Dr. Letitia. How did it go? And
What? Her name is Letitia?
Yeah,
That's
her
the
name-
blackest name.
That is the blackest name. That should let you know who I'm going to and what I'm getting out of it. And I will say this is one of the first times where I actually went in and rated the doctor.
Oh, that's great.
So like I gave her very high, very
and this
very
was only over the
favorable
first
rating.
meeting, so that's really great.
Yeah, like I get really good vibes for her, and I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, nothing really too taxing this week on my health. Just
Are you feeling like I feel like you haven't had a blue period in quite some time.
I haven't had a blue period in a while, which is good. I'm wondering if it's a combination of the medication and just I forget who I was talking to about this recently, but I find that there are not a lot of ups and downs in my life right now. Like everything is pretty consistent. Work is consistent. There's not like really a lot of drama on that end. The occasional project that
Do you
gets
feel like working
landed
from
on my
home has
lap.
helped?
I believe so.
And now having a new apartment, so you're like by yourself. You have all
Yes,
people
like the
around?
combination of a new apartment, the combination of me being supported to go outside. I know that I have someone in my corner who constantly is like, let's go outside. Let's get you some fresh air, get some vitamin D in your ass. Like, and
So there I was trying to be inappropriate. You set me up.
yeah, I did. I really did. I'm the one who mentioned that. Okay, can we continue now? So, but yeah, that's been my week. My week has been just pretty chill. Nothing really new to report. I'll be meeting with Dr. Letitia on Wednesday, and oh boy, I have a lot to report to her about, which I'll get into in a little bit. Is that the one you meant to do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
Doctor.
you're
Shout
talking
out.
about it.
You know what? Yeah, shout out to Dr. Letitia. She's fucking amazing. If you find her on ZocDoc and if you have Aetna, because that's the only one that she takes.
Also, shout out to Dr. Follins and Dr. Vickers. We love all you black women therapists and psychiatrists.
Black women therapy.
Black woman therapy.
Oh,
Black women therapy.
Side note: the Black Lady sketch show has come back.
Oh yeah, you know I have to rewatch the first season because
I have to
can't
rewatch the
remember.
second season. I don't remember.
Wait, it's on its third season.
Yeah, it's on its third season.
I have to catch up hard body then.
Oh boy. Maybe we'll watch an episode after
Woo.
this. But yeah, shout out to our doctors. But boy oh boy. Things haven't all been glitz and glamorous or contentment.
Glamorous.
So
Glamorous,
let us
glamorous.
slide down the hallway into the segment where we talk about the things that are pissing us off, getting under our skin. It's time for We Gripe Here.
Bring it. What? We gripe it. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe it. This safe space for us to share. We gripe it. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe it.
Now, do you want to start or should I?
Nah, you go first.
Okay, well, Odochi, you know it's that time of year where the seasons are changing, the days are longer. The days are longer when it's daylight savings time in the springtime, right?
Yes.
Yes, the days are longer. The sun is shining brightly outdoors. People are starting to go back into the bars and on the streets and restaurants. Like the city is opening back up. And
We outside.
And yeah, people are outside in the sun. But you know what comes when there's people on the outside and there's people just out and about and the seasons change?
Mess.
Mess. not just mess, fuckboy shit. I just have one thing to say to any potential fuckboys. And the sad thing is, I can't even say you know who you are, because fuckboys and sociopath goes fucking side by side, because a fucking sociopath doesn't know that they're a fucking sociopath.
That's true.
It's the psychopaths that know that they're psychopaths, right? And the sociopaths don't.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, either way.
Look it up.
I'll look it up later. But either way, fuckboys don't even know that they're fuckboys. Fuckboys don't know that what they're doing is wrong. Or they know that they're doing wrong because they're doing it in secret. They're moving in silence.
Yes.
They're keeping things on the low, not being comfortable with themselves. Dude, plural, fuckboys, it's time to grow the fuck up. Like, this shit that you're doing, the dirt that you're doing out here in these streets, it's not fun. It's not funny. It's hurting people. It's not serving anybody but yourself. And quite frankly, as we get older, like, it becomes more and more evident that there is a maturity issue where you're playing these fucking games and not taking accountability, not taking responsibility, and just ruining lives left and right, leaving lives in your wake that are just like damaged and broken. And all for what? To get a fucking quick nut in? To get some sort of jollies off of like feeling like you're pulling the wool over somebody, having your cake and eating it too?
Well, I think you should be able to have your cake and eat it too, but you can't eat all the cake.
You can't have all the fucking cake, guys!
You have to let you eat your cake.
Have your own fucking cake. If you wanted to fucking have cake and eat it too, fucking own a goddamn bakery.
I think that we're not gonna say the situation.
I'm not.
But
there is.
I think that people should just be mindful. Like, on a good day, we live in a very small world. We're only 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon, right?
Yes. Is it 6 or 7 degrees?
No, 6.
I think it's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Yes.
So you have to know that whatever you say to someone about someone else could always, whatever you say to someone about someone else always has the potential of getting back to them.
It's Easter Sunday. And this is the appropriate time for me to bust out a gospel quote. That what is done in the dark always comes out in the light. And if you're moving around,
moving dirty,
if you're moving dirty and trying to play secrets, you better believe that those secrets tend to come out in the light.
Yeah.
Now, I myself am not doing anything about any type of situation that I may or may not be involved in. First off, let me just tell you, I'm not a fuckboy. I used to be a fuckboy. That's why I know these fuckboy games. I have a t-shirt that says I'm a retired fuckboy. I'm a retired fuckboy. It is not in my wheelhouse anymore. But because I used to be a fuckboy, I know all these fuckboy behaviors.
I just want everyone to remember that your actions have consequences, and you can't, quit playing games with people's hearts, especially if you know that that the people you're playing games with may not have had a hard time in the past regarding your relationship and just in general. Like, just leave people alone.
I have to be extremely careful with what I say. And I am going to be extremely careful with what I say because it is not for me to say in detail. But what I will say is this. Fuckboys of America, of the world, if you're listening. If you find yourself in a position where you are either unhappy or unsatisfied, you can go to a therapist. You can seek mental health. You can exercise. You can take supplements. Do all the things that we say at the end of this podcast. Drink water.
Take your meds.
You could take your meds and your subs. All of those things you can do, because when you do the fuckboy shit, it has an effect on other people. There are other people outside of just you who have to deal with your fuckboy antics. It could be a friend. It could be a family member. It could be a coworker. It could be any number of people who are in your sphere who have to then deal with your bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's not right. It's not fair. So take fucking accountability, be transparent, and deal with your shit on your own, like men or like people. I'm not doing that masculine bullshit nonsense.
Like a grown up.
Like a grown up. Grow the fuck up. Grow up. That's the crux of everything that I'm saying right now. Grow the fuck up. We are too fucking old to be dealing with bullshit and having other people deal with bullshit. It is too old. I'm in my Jesus year. I am too old. Jesus was too old to be dealing with fuck shit, and so am I. And so are all of us. We are too old to be dealing with fuck shit. So leave the fuck shit at the door, go get some fucking help, and deal with it yourself. Because if you don't, people are gonna get hurt, and then you're gonna look like fucking boo-boo the goddamn fool. Because the only people who end up looking bad are the fuck boys.
This is true.
Like, at the end of the day, the people that you hurt, they heal. Time heals all wounds. But at the end of the day, the only people who totally look bad, who look fucking monstrous, who look silly and stupid and get the worst representation, the worst reputations are the fuckboys themselves.
Yes.
So, fuckboys, get your shit together, grow the fuck up, go to goddamn therapy, do some fucking crunches, and leave people the fuck alone.
I concur.
Irony.
Is that it? Is that all the things that were grinding you this week?
I also just think that, okay. This is less about my father, because I love my father. Mm-hmm. I hope that he gets well. Mm-hmm. This is not even really a gripe. I hope he gets well. He's currently recovering from eye surgery. Mm-hmm. I hope he's doing okay. This is more of a suggestion. Mm-hmm. Dad, I love you. It's okay to take some time to rest.
Yes.
It's okay to just chill.
Yes.
You know, like, you can't make everything. You can't do everything. Sometimes you just gotta take the time off and get well soon. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay to just chillax for a little bit.
Chillax in the cut.
Chillax in the cut. See, that's not even a gripe. That's more of a suggestion. Also, I don't think that whoever designed dogs to have the smelliest farts in the world, like, you need to be put on blast. And it's always the small dogs with the worst farts.
Yeah.
So, whoever you are out there, you know, intelligent design or what have you, let's fucking work on that. Work on making our dogs' farts not smell so terrible and vomit-inducing.
Vomit-inducing.
Yes, this dog farted and I was just like, ugh, I almost fucking retched.
Don't let him talk to you like that, Cookie.
Well, that's everything that is on my
Gripe list.
gripe list. Yes.
So
what is gripes? What's Wesley gripes with you?
God. Okay.
Snipes. It's a playoff of
I thought you were
Snipes.
talking about the pipes.
I know. That's why I'm clarifying. It's based off of Snipes.
Okay. Well,
Wesley Gripes is like Wesley Snipes, not
Okay.
fucking.
you never know with you. You never know. You have to confirm.
Get it all in there.
Okay.
Get it all in there, motherfucker.
This is a terrible I don't even think I need to figure out another gripe to put in before this gripe because I don't think this is appropriate.
Not a good segue. You know what? Here, let me That should be a palate cleanser.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So you know that I am an abolitionist.
Yes, you are.
Probably said that. Take a shot whenever.
Take a shot whenever you say it. The reason why I
abolitionist.
didn't say take a shot earlier was because I technically brought it up.
Yes.
But yeah, you definitely, if you're keeping count, take a shot. She said the thing.
So the.
And also take a shot whenever she giggles with a little snort.
Don't tell people to do that.
Yes, they do. Yes, take a shot because it's a fun little giggle.
Anyway, you know that like abolition is like anti-prisons. You know, finding ways of restorative justice. They're not just kind of throwing away the people in our communities that do wrong, and figuring out a way to actually rehabilitate them versus just throwing them in a cage. And that also extends to the death penalty. I feel like there are very few things that should equate to the death penalty, but especially something like a singular death. I don't know if I could ever be like, yeah, you should totally kill someone after they murdered one person, because it's like that just seems like you're doing like an eye for an eye, which is sure if you're going Old Testament. But we're not in the Old Testament. We are current in modern times, and we should figure out ways to help rehabilitate people, even if that doesn't mean they're going back into society necessarily. But I don't think you should be killed for that. Hence is the case with a South Carolina inmate, Richard Bernard Moore, who's 57 and was convicted in 1999 of a murder of a convenience store clerk. He's actually going to be set to be executed at the end of this month on April 29th. And in the worst, sickest, to me, evilest things in the world, South Carolina, because they recently reinstated the death penalty, they had him choose between a firing squad, which they also just recently reinstated, and lethal injection?
Sorry, that's not.
Sorry.
Funny. I'm not laughing at lethal injection.
Sorry, it wasn't lethal injection. It was electric chair. They were trying to make him choose between.
Okay.
And there really wasn't. He couldn't get lethal injection because they didn't have any of the necessary drugs. And they were going to try to execute him during like the height of the pandemic, but there was enough. They got a stay for execution in 2020 because his attorney said that they were trying to carry out his execution under a veil of secrecy amidst a global pandemic. And like, this is what he said about the methods. He said, I believe this election is forcing me to choose between two unconstitutional methods of execution, and I do not intend to waive any challenges to electrocution or firing squad made by an election. And I just feel like this man has been in jail since 1999. Why can't, if what he did was so horrendous, why not just let him carry out his life in jail and, die there? Because it's not like being in jail is a freaking cakewalk. It's a terrible, you're away from your family, your community, and you're also being mistreated by the guards and the fellow inmates. And it just, the fact that you're both, to me, traumatizing it's traumatizing to the family, and also you're traumatizing these guards. So you have to pick volunteers who are going to shoot a man in the heart. Like, that sounds pretty crazy to me. Like, not to say that these firing squads are not new. They've been around for a while. That was the main way of executing people for quite some time. But the fact that this man had to choose his death is just really crazy to me. It's like some sort of Saw level evil. And I just think that that's fucked up, that South Carolina or anywhere in the United States that would be happening. And we're always looking at all these other countries and talking about how inhumane they are. But to me, this is just as inhumane as anything else. So I just hope that his family is getting whatever necessary support that they need. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, I mean, who knows, at the last-ditch effort of staying his execution, maybe he'll get an appeal between now and then. But I just feel like this is really fucked up. We shouldn't be like Frank James, the Brooklyn shooter.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't want him to get an electric chair. Mm-hmm. I mean, thank God nobody died from the shooting, but it was still a terroristic act. Yeah. In a way, who knows if it was a hate crime or anything like that. But I don't think someone doing something wrong means we should now kill them and forget about them. Because at the end of the day, there are going to be plenty of other people that come behind him that also are doing something wrong. Those people shouldn't be killed either. Why not figure out ways of actually helping people to not get to that situation versus just throwing them away and murdering them because we don't like something they did. So that's really my only gripe this week.
Okay, fair enough. So let us slide our asses down to the better, sunshinier part of this house, where we talk about the things that made us happy. And of course, we can't talk about the things that made us happy without the number one song that makes us happy on this podcast. Little bit of oh wow, I'm blanking on the name.
Baby Merchant.
Baby Merchant.
I'm the baby merchant. Tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
So since I went first this time, what's making you happy?
Well, one, I'm very happy that your birthday celebrations, part 1, have gone off without a hitch, and we are continuing those celebrations today. And there's a special surprise celebration we're doing on your actual birthday on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. That's been making me very happy. 'Cause I'm happy that you're happy. I'm happy that I found a psychiatrist that I'm going to be trying to set up appointments with, to work with. That's in my budget.
Sound like you said to twerk with.
Well, maybe we can do that too.
Yeah. Maybe get some meds and twerk.
I will. Once I get meds, I will be twerking all over the place.
Meds. Let me get the meds.
Then, okay, so yesterday I was on Twitter, and I saw this tweet by rapper NLE Choppa.
NLE Choppa.
Now, I couldn't tell you what song he has because I don't know. But he tweeted out, since my BBL blend is such a success, currently I'm looking for things to reverse autism, dwarfism, Down syndrome, and many other disorders. A lot of people asking for herbs for their height. I'm going to look into that. And now, that wasn't the stupid thing that made me. The tweet was so ridiculous and dumb that that didn't make me happy, but the response to it is really I've been cackling just reading people's hilarious responses to it because it's just sir, what the fuck are you talking about? No, you cannot reverse dwarfism or Down syndrome or autism. You can, are you going to change the chromosomes in people's body? I want to know. And then I went on his website to try to find his BBL blend. And
Also take a shot if ever BBLs come up on this fucking podcast too, quite frankly, because I swear to God, there's something going on. There's a party going on right here. Brazilian butt lifts throughout the years.
I'm like, I had to go to his website so that I could try to find the BBL supplements. And I still am very confused at what it is because it didn't make any sense. And also, it's just not like what could you do to make someone's fat move from their stomach to their butt? So I went on his website, NLE Health and Wellness, and he has a variety of different herbs and things. And when you look at the BBL, hold on, let me make sure I have the correct one. When you go to look for this BBL herb, you find this natural BBL supplement, which includes, it's called BBL Herb Concoction, which honestly, yes, AKPI powder, fennel, fenugreek, and basil. Now, this to me sounds just like really good seasonings for like some chicken or fish or something. Mm-hmm. Nothing about this makes me think of BBL. Mm-hmm. And when your description just says this herb contains AKP powder, fennel, fenugreek, and basil. You could add 2 teaspoons to drinking water or tea every morning. But it gives you literally no explanation of how this BBL supplement.
I doubt that it's FDA approved.
Oh, it's not. He writes on the thing. It says not FDA approved. And when I looked up to see like what these different things were, like nothing about it is equaling anything. Like AKP powder, there is AKP oil that you could like rub on your butt. That's supposed to make it firmer and stuff like that. But like this is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever seen, and I just could not believe that people are buying him. They are, because when I was on the website, it was like 20 people have purchased this in the last hour.
No, that's probably a scam that they're doing.
Do you think that people are purchasing it? Like,
it's just like remember on TV where they would say supplies while supplies are limited on TV, and meanwhile there's a big ass fucking warehouse of My Pillows sitting somewhere. They have their fucking inventory. There's no way that they're running out of fucking inventory. Ooh, 20 people just bought this in the last 2 minutes. Shut the fuck up.
I really want to know what he's doing and why. And I had been knowing him on social for being very big into wellness, but he was also really big into Dr. Sebi, and I was like, oof. Once I saw that, I was like, there's only a certain amount of time before he's telling us that, like,
I don't know how well he could be into wellness with all these fucking guns in the goddamn video.
He'll have his guns and he drinks some water with fenugreek powder.
With fenugreek powder. Jesus.
But those things were what was causing me to. Oh, he also claims that he has herbs that cure STDs.
I thought you were about to say he also claims he has herpes, and I'm about to laugh at how this BBL powder is not helping him with that.
Well, if he's doing stuff with Dr. Sebi's work, which, Dr. Sebi is the deceased doctor who was
apparently
very big into wellness.
Apparently killed cancer.
Cancer,
is that the guy?
herpes, AIDS. It was like the conspiracy theory is he had all these cures, and that because of that, the government killed him, even though I think he died of like pneumonia or something. I don't remember. But it's just ridiculous. And I am, that I'm a wellness person. I believe in herbs and using teas and things to help you. A lot of these herbs are things that people have been using for thousands of years to help them a variety of ways. Sure. But like, there's a difference between saying, let me drink my ashwagandha powder to help with my anxiety, and this fucking BBL supplement
Yeah.
or some other bullshit that is going to change my genetic makeup. I don't think there's anything that anyone could do or give me that is going to stop my brain from being neurodivergent. And the fact that people are purchasing these items, and guess how much the BBL supplement costs?
$19.99.
$100.
Oh, eat a dick, NLE Chopper.
It is $100, and it is does it say how much is in there? It looks like it's stupid. Please, people, do not buy it. But please also read the Twitter comments because they're really hilarious, and I've been cracking up watching them. Something else that made me happy.
I like some of his songs.
I honestly couldn't tell you a song. I don't know any of them. I've never heard the song that you're playing right now.
Yeah,
Never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either. It's called Shata Flow 6.
Oh. Okay. Well, listen.
That's why there's a lot of guns with scopes on them.
People are obviously interested in what he's doing. I am not one of them, but live long and prosper. But please keep your BBL blends away. What about you? What's making you happy this week?
Well, as I alluded to earlier, there's a special little guest here that I am housing for the next week or so, named Cookie. Cookie is a good girl. Don't know what type of dog she is, but she's a small little, I want to say, got some collie in her.
She might have some terrier too. Because I'm looking at her face.
Yeah, like if you look at her teeth, like the way that they look, like they definitely, yes, we're talking about you, Cookie. Hey, Cookie, on my heated blanket. Look at you, just the lap of luxury all up in here. Yes, you are. Cookie.
Good girl.
You're a good girl. You're a good girl, Cookie. So in addition to having Cookie around, which, by the way, other than the fact that you peed in my room, peed and pooped in my room, you just had to do it. Market territory. I get it. Other than that, Cookie is a good girl. Cookie has been really, really helpful for like my not anxiety, just helping me make smash through the blues.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in my blue or anything like that, but just having a dog around is enough to prevent some blue periods from
Especially
happening.
with this cute little face.
Yeah, Cookie has a very cute face.
She
A
has
very
little
cute
gray,
Cookie
little,
face.
little,
Yeah.
Little lips.
Yeah.
You know she's a good girl.
Yes, Cookie, you are a good'un. You are a good girl. In addition to that, I am celebrating my birthday this weekend. It was fantastic so far. Okay, so we did a smash room at the Rage Cage. And it was so fucking fun. It was tiresome. It was hot, very sweaty, no ventilation, which makes sense because if it's a lot of stuff breaking, then you don't want like to accidentally break a window or something like that. So that makes sense and that's fine. Wearing masks, wearing face coverings, wearing like that overall plastic jumpsuit, the hazmat suit, like it was a lot of fun. Ooh, I forgot to wipe my feet off on the rug, my shoes, just to make sure that there weren't any like glass.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there wasn't like a lot of. We had a lot of glass.
Yeah, we
besides like the
plates,
the glass,
and the
from,
glass
like,
from the
laser
printers. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah, and then we went to Pig Beach, which I had the biggest fucking burger you could possibly have ever imagined. I will admit, like in hindsight, maybe should have had 2 patties instead of 3.
Yeah.
But I still ate that burger.
You did. You finished the whole thing.
I ate the fuck out of that burger.
The brisket was delicious.
Yes. So between the brisket and the
and the wing, the honey
rubbed wings.
All the food was good.
All the food was amazing. And then of course went back to my old stomping grounds at Halyards. That was very nice. It was very appropriate. That was the last place where I had my public birthday for my 30th birthday. And it's only appropriate that 3 years later I would celebrate my Jesus Day at Halyards. And then, of course, we went to the second afterwards. afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? The funny thing is, I only vaguely remember being at the Sackett.
Went to the Sackett, and then we ended the night at
Uncle Barry's.
Uncle Barry's, which I finally went to.
Yeah! Yes! You finally saw... What did you think?
It was cute.
Yeah,
Is it a queer bar?
No, it is not.
Okay, because there's a lot of us community members there.
Yeah.
One person was hitting on your bestie.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember that.
You didn't see it. It was just me and him sitting there.
Oh, okay. But thank you to all of my friends who showed up. I'm talking Mulaney, Gladys, Odie was there too. Not two, but you know what I mean. Sam, C, Nastasia. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you. And of course, a very special thank you to Odie for organizing everything, for sending out the invites. I appreciated that. Thank you for looking out for me and making sure that it was a really nice day. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm glad that you
Shout out to Odie!
had a great day. I wanted you to have a great birthday, and so I'm glad that is how you felt.
And another special shout out to my Uncle Buster, because apparently he listens to the podcast.
What up, Uncle Buster?
Buster, what it is right now. Buster, what it is right now. Yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to the rest of the fam. But yeah, that's everything that's making me happy. And I got a very nice gift from a very, very close friend of mine. I'm going to be wearing it later this evening.
Well, this is awesome. Many good things.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I'm a very close person to me in my life is expecting, and I'm very excited. I will, once they have said we can announce who they are, I will. But I'm just grateful to see all these people happy and healthy and loved in my life, and I'm hoping that, more of that all 2022, okay? Because there's a lot of shit been happening, so anytime that we can celebrate the people that we love and care for, I think that is very important, and we need more of it. So
I agree. So now, that is everything that's making both of us happy.
Yep.
There's nothing left but to go in for the close. Want to thank everybody for listening to this podcast. Appreciate everybody. We'll be back next week with more shenanigans. And until then, take it easy, guys. Nope. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.